Hi Aries, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for the end of January. I hope you guys are all well. I would like to take a quick second to remind everyone that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Aries out there. So guys, just take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Please keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, Aries, get in where you fit in. But as always, don't try to force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Aries? Aries. All right, Aries, you are starting out with the Chariot in the reverse. You have the Queen of Swords in the reverse and the Ace of Swords. So you've gotten some clarity about a situation. I feel like it kind of pissed you off a little bit. I see that there was no forward movement. There was nothing that was moving in a positive, good direction. You may have cut somebody out of a situation. I definitely feel like you are angry with this person or were angry, and I do feel like you're not talking to this person currently. I'm getting I said what I said type of energy. Let me see who's in your energy. Show me who is in Aries energy. All right, so the person in your energy, we have the Seven of Wands. We have the Star card in reverse. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. And we have the Nine of Wands. So this person's been in battle mode. I feel like they feel like their back is up against the wall. They're exhausted. They're feeling hopeless about the situation. It's like they've abandoned all hope, and they are exhausted. I don't know if this is in relation to you, Aries, or if this is in relation to other problems, because I can tell you right now, this person, there is conflict with you. I can see that. But this person might be having conflict with other people as well. I do feel like they're receiving, issues, or how do I word this? They're having issues, I guess would be the better way of saying it, with more than just with you. They feel like their back is just up against the wall here. They're feeling hopeless about the situation, like their dreams have been crushed, and they are really exhausted. Let me see the energy between Aries and this person. Show me the energy between Aries and this person. The Fool and the Death card in reverse. Well, that's interesting because they don't feel like things are over between the two of you, and you're wanting a new beginning here. You're wanting to take a risk towards this person, but I don't see you actually moving forward right now, and there's this conflict. Let me see, show me Knight of Wands. So what's affecting the connection is communication. There's going to be some communication coming through. And that may be what changes this scenario, because over here you seem angry. This person seems hopeless. But the shared energy is quite different. So this could have been an on-again, off-again relationship. You may feel like you're dealing with a player, because I feel like there was some kind of communication that was a bit toxic, that might have been what caused the conflict. Let me see the outcome, because the shared energy is very different from either of your energies. Show me the outcome for Aries. Four of Cups in the reverse. You're both thinking about one another, trying to figure out, is there going to be any way of, having this renewal, having this come back together? Yeah, very interesting. All right, so bottom of the deck is Justice in the reverse. That's underlying energy. There could be something legal that's going on. That is a card for legalities. If so, it's unresolved. But it does show me that there is just a direct imbalance here within this connection. And somebody Either you or the other person, and I feel like it's you, has this sense of being wronged or treated improperly. So let me clarify the reading. Spirit, why is the Chariot in reverse for Aries? Why is the Chariot in reverse for Aries? You could be dealing with a Scorpio. All right, we have the Six of Coins and we have the Queen of Swords. So you put some boundaries up here. Yeah, you're saying basically to this person, you're saying, I want a balanced connection. I want an equal give and take, or I'm not moving forwards at all, which I actually like for you. I like this because it's like, yes, you're open to a new beginning. You're willing to take a risk, but you're not going to drop your boundaries in order to do that. I can tell you this person is still emotionally attached to the situation and to the connection. But see, I like that you're coming in here with those boundaries intact, and you're basically saying it's either going to be balanced out, because right now it's very unbalanced. It's either going to be balanced out, you're going to give, I'm going to give, you know, or we're not doing this. So I feel like you're open to talking with this person. Let me see why this Queen of Swords is in reverse. Because that's a reversal of your current situation. All right, so we have the Seven of Wands reversed, and we have the Judgment card in reverse. So at some point, you weren't willing to talk to this person. Yeah, at some point, you were not willing to talk to them. You were like, why? Well, because you didn't want to make a poor judgment call here. You might think this person is a player at worst, or in and out of the connection at best. So I feel like you weren't willing to fight for this. You were like, no, I'm cutting this out of my life. But it does look like you've kind of reversed your opinion on that. Because I see here, you're open to conversation, whereas before you were not. Because this situation made you feel powerless at some point. Like you had just really messed up by being involved with this person at all. So let me see why the Ace of Swords is here. Why is the Ace of Swords here? So there may have been a conversation between the two of you that changed that. The Moon in reverse and the Ace of Swords. Yeah, I'm seeing a conversation where something was revealed, something you didn't know that gave you the clarity that you needed. Because you have the Ace of Swords twice, and that's very clear, honest, direct communication, and that provides the clarity that you need. And what is that clarity about? Well, the Moon in reverse, it's about something that was hidden or something you didn't realize or didn't see before. Now you have the full picture. So let's look at their energy. Show me the Seven of Wands for the person in Aries energy. Why is the Seven of Wands here? Oh, the Knight of Cups. And we have the Nine of Swords reversed. This person loves you. But you know what? They also feel like you love them. And they're expecting you to express that love, to express those feelings. I'm really getting the message that this person is used to you being the one to come to them, you being the one to, you know, express your feelings, express your emotions. And that's what they're hoping for here. So I see the conflict that's happened between the two of you. You basically dug in your heels and you said, look, I am not moving forward with you. I'm not taking that risk. I'm not moving forward unless this is an equal give and take in this connection. So this person was over here basically acting like they were unbothered because they were feeling like, well, this isn't over between me and Aries. Eventually, Aries is going to come towards me. Eventually, Aries is going to want to work this out. Now, do they have feelings for you? They do. They do. But I feel like they count on the fact that you're going to be the one to want to work things out. Why is this Star card in reverse? Why is this Star card in reverse for the person in Aries energy? King of Wands reversed, and the Sun. All right, so you could be dealing with another Aries or a Leo or a Sagittarius. Strong Leo energy, actually. This person is in the energy of, you know, I'm happy to just sit back and do nothing. I'm going to let Aries, because Aries caused all this issue. And I'm not saying that's true, Aries. I'm saying that's what this person is saying. They're saying, I'm going to sit back. I know that eventually Aries is going to come towards me. And Aries is going to, you know, approach me. They caused the problem, so they can come towards me. But I don't think that worked out for them very well. See, that would have made them very happy for you to do that. And now they're becoming pretty clear that you're not going to be the one to take the action. And so they're giving up hope on plan A, and they're moving to plan B. Because they're tired. They're exhausted. I feel like there was like some sort of a standoff between the two of you. And you refused to budge, whereas in the past you may have been more willing to do so, and they were so sure you were going to. Now, that being said, this person does love you. They identify you as being their happiness, but they also don't like to take accountability for you know, their own actions here. So let me see the Nine of Wands for the person in Aries energy. Well, there it is. All right, we got the Page of Pentacles reversed. There's that devil. There's the devil. You could be dealing with a Capricorn. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this person, they're tired of waiting. They're tired of waiting for communication that just never came. It is a toxic energy. So, you know, this person is seated in a little bit of toxic energy. There is going to be some communication if there hasn't been already. But like I said, this person likes being single. They, you know, are very independent. They are somebody who, you know, I feel like does pretty well for themselves, and they enjoy being single. So I don't feel like they've been offering you anything. I feel like this is somebody that's kind of been, you know, they've been in this energy of feeling that you were always going to chase them, that you were always going to be coming after them. And I feel like you basically said, okay, not anymore. I'm done with that. So yeah, there was a standoff. Seven of Wands. You each have it in your energy. There was a standoff here. You basically cut this person out, and they said, oh, you know, oh, that's just Aries. They'll come, once they get over it, they'll come towards me. And you didn't. You didn't. And so they became pretty clear that you weren't going to take the action. You weren't going to do anything. So they gave up hope that you were going to come towards them for communication. Now they're sitting over here exhausted. You know, they're single, but are they happy? No, it doesn't look like it. This person could have some toxic behaviors, such as, you know, substance abuse, or, you know, it could even be overworking. I don't know. But I do feel like this is somebody who is seated in some toxic energy, and you just had enough. Let me see the energy between Aries and this person. All right, the Emperor. You're in your power. That's good. All right, Knight of Swords reversed, and there's that standoff. Knight of Pentacles reversed. So you stepped into your power, and you basically said, look, I'm willing to, you know, talk to this person, but, you know, I'm not going to chase after them. So when you decided that it was going to be a balanced, equal give or take, you put up these boundaries. You also said, you know what, you're not being quite honest with me about what it is that you want here. So I feel like you do want to take a risk. You want to be have a new beginning with this person, but not if it requires you to give up your boundaries. And I feel like, you know, you pulled back. You weren't talking with them. There could have been an argument, because I do see that there was conflict here. Are you willing to, you know, forgive and move forward? Yeah. but not without your boundaries. Not if the relationship costs you your own empowerment. You're done with that. That was the old Aries. You're like, no, I'm not doing that. So what did this person do? Well, they ground in their heels and they said, well, I'm not moving forward. I'm just going to wait till Aries comes towards me. So they sat over here and they acted unbothered. They said, okay, well, I'm in charge of this. I'm in control of this, particularly if you're dealing with another Aries, which is very strong energy. But yeah, they basically said, I'm not moving forward. You said, well, I'm not moving forward. And so we have the standoff of these two knights, both in reverse, both taking control of their own, well-being, and both of you, in a standoff against each other. So now we have the Knight of Wands in the upright. So let's see, and that's what's affecting the connection. Why is the Knight of Wands here? Page of Wands and the Star. So somebody broke down and communicated. It looks like it may have been you, but it was something very small. It could have even been something like maybe, liking something on social media, or, just like a small text or whatever. It was very small. You decided to be the bigger person here. You decided to, try to create some sort of resolution to kind of open the pathway up for communication. And this person was like, oh my God, thank you. Because they really have wanted to talk to you. But they are so stuck in their ways, and it's toxic to them. So it brought hope back into their life, and it made them say, okay, yeah, we can balance this out. We can, we can work this out. But you communicating, if you haven't already, that's what they're hoping for. And I do see that there is some sort of communication that takes place that affects this connection. So let's look at the outcome. Show me the outcome for Aries and this person. All right, so we have the Ace of Wands reversed. We have the World. And we have the Four of Cups. All right, so it's like this thing is developing, okay? What is going to, because we have the Four Cups reversed. Here it's in the upright, all right? So both of you thinking about each other, wanting to put an end to this, wanting to have a fresh new beginning. But that being said, there's still some things here that need to be worked out. And so I feel like you're not willing to take that risk. You want to, but you're not going to until all of this can be worked out. You've had some realizations over here. I do feel like you will communicate with this person, but you're going to be very clear about what it is that you want. Something here is being revealed to you as well, and I feel like it's enabling you to get the clarity that you need. And I don't feel like you're going to move forward with this person unless they're giving you that balanced connection. You'll end this before you do that. It's like you feel almost like you've gone too far to give up what you have, the progress you've made. It's that kind of energy here. So there is a cycle that's closing out, but I feel like you're not backing down from your position. You're open. You might be communicating, but you're not backing down from your original position, which is, we can work this out, but only if there's a balanced, equal give and take. I'm not lowering my boundaries. I'm not disempowering myself. I'm not going to make myself small so that you can feel big. Now, in their energy, I do have to say, I feel like this person is exhausted with the lack of communication, but there's still this energy of toxicity that is here. I would have rather seen the Devil come out in reverse, which it's still in the upright. So there's still some toxic energy here. And this person is kind of looking back. They're trying to learn from these experiences, but they are exhausted. And I feel like they do want to end this cycle. They just want to end this cycle and go back to the way it was before, where you were chasing after them. So that's what the holdup is. And I feel like you're not going to budge, and they're going to learn some pretty difficult lessons. Will they give in? It does look like it, because they really do want to end this cycle, but they're hard-headed, and I feel like it's going to be difficult for them to just, you know, just give in. They want the connection, but they want to go back to it being the way it was before, when you didn't have the boundaries that you have now. And maybe, you know, I don't know if you chased after them, or if, you know, they felt like you did. See, they want to go back to what was toxic, and you want to move forward into what is healthy. So this cycle will close out, but it's undetermined exactly how. Oh, look at that. That might help. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups. So that's beautiful. That does indicate that you have been pouring that love into yourself, which is really good. But it can also indicate that there is going to be a renewal in this connection. But I honestly don't see you backing down from your position here. So I feel like this person's going to have to come up to the bar that you've set. All right, I'm going to pull a oracle card, pulling for Aries. And you know, these are difficult lessons. It's especially if you're a very giving person. A lot of times you just give and give and give, and your heart is in the right place, but boundaries have to be there as well for it to be healthy. All right, so you have number 36. So that comes down to a 9. You are very close to the end of this cycle. It says the Seeker. All-seeing eye, spirit, release. It says, could you surrender just a bit more? That's interesting, especially after me talking about this little standoff that's taking place. All right, let me read that for you. Hang on just a second. All right, so your affirmation says, I surrender to the divine. Now, that's a very different thing than surrendering to this person. All right, it says, the third eye does not look in order to see. Instead, it feels and knows. It is the most mystical of all spiritual symbols and is the seeker of our world. The part of us that brings us to higher understandings and connects us with the divine, if we allow it to. The seeker archetype is the cloaked being who can travel between realms, the one who uncovers universal magic and mysteries. The finder of Atlantis in the sea, the opener of ancient books, even when the world tells them not to. They travel to forbidden and uncharted lands when others are too fearful to do so. Ironically, our human nature and our own two eyes can often get in the way of our seeking. Part of learning to see with our third eye is actually to close our own, to get out of our way of boxed-in thinking, rationalizing, and overanalyzing. Reason and logic are not what carry us to magical realms. It is surrendering to spirit and quieting our mind so we can open up to the mysterious. The one who learns to see does it by using their third eye connection with spirit. Notice that the goddess in the artwork is crying. She cries tears of awe and wonder at what she is seeing. Her third eye, wide open and looking toward the heavens, is symbolic of the heightened understandings and awakenings we are capable of receiving. A release, which is the tears flowing downwards, allows for the rise of the third eye, which is seeing upwards. Observe how the goddess becomes a horizon. She is a rising sun with a renewed sense of optimism for life. The sun is within her mouth as though she will speak, express, or sing about her powerful experience. That surrendering and releasing rather than controlling and consuming was how she achieved it. And now she asks you, could you surrender just a bit more? Ooh, that's powerful, Aries. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you've resonated with this reading, Aries, please hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hype the video if you get the opportunity. Until I see you in your next reading, know that you are loved, and namaste.